Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are. It's funny, I forget sometimes that the audience can be so wide and we can be wherever we are in the world. And yeah, morning for me. But anyway, hello, and welcome to this sixth line day. Thursday, the 28th of March at 18:29 GMT, we go into the sixth line of gate 17. Today we have the Bodhisattva and we have Buddhahood, two lines which both need to be spoiled in order to have the room that they need in which to operate correctly. Neither of these six lines really want to share their opinions or corrections if they don't have to, if there's nothing in it for them to do so. They just really want to relax into their innocence. They want to just chill in many ways. There's no more correction to be done. There are no more opinions that really need validating. So it's kind of like, run me a bath, buy me some flowers, and let's have dinner. Spoil me. The moon is focusing on our creative self-expression as it transits through gate 1 at 11:14 a.m. And it's heading into gate 43, where it makes a channel with Uranus in gate 23. So here we find the possibility to express our unique individual insights when we're invited to do so. Are you ready for a little bit more? We shall dive a bit deeper. So our six lines, these are generally our administrators. They're the ones sitting on the top of the hexagram, slightly aloof. They can be a bit detached, but they're keeping an eye on the whole circuit. And particularly, they're looking at what's coming next, which for us is gate 21, I believe. They can be sensitive, but they can also be disconnected. This is a line of transition. We're going from one hexagram into the next hexagram. And it's got a transitionary process, of course, just within itself, as it goes from being a third line when it's very young and having that process to then going up onto the roof in its aloof stage and then coming down into its role model phase. So there's a transition built within the sixth line anyway. So these are our role models, or not, depending on what you want your role model to be, I suppose. We all have our opinions about that, and we want to put our corrections out about what our six lines should be doing. But let's have a look at the 17.6, and this is the Bodhisattva. It's really interesting today when you look at these two, the polarity here with the sun in 17.6 Bodhisattva and the earth in 18.6, which is Buddhahood. And hear these words, genetic continuity. It's just like flows all the way through. So these two gates are playing really nicely together. The 18.6 has the lifetime learning perfected form, and the 17.6 lifetime learning says perfected following, one with and the same as perfected leading. So the Bodhisattva just wants to be left alone so it can process its understanding. And it wants to be spoiled while it's left alone so that it doesn't have to be doing lots of stuff in its aloneness. Everything's taken care of. And then it can become the perfect arbiter for its hexagram. And this is the job of the sixth line. They are here to check that the hexagram is operating correctly, so that when people come to them and say, are these I've forgotten my words now. The fifth line, practical solutions. Are these practical solutions actually really practical? Are they worth looking at? The sixth line can look over the whole thing and say, yeah, you're good to go on that one. You can trust that fifth line. Or no, leave them alone and don't ask them for their practical solutions. So the sixth line can take this big view and is that role model, is that arbiter for the rest of the hexagram, if they're operating correctly. So they don't really want to be bothered with something if they haven't got something in it for them. You know, they want a result. They're not going to share their opinions if their opinions are going to fall on stony ground. You know, they want something to happen. They want their opinion to be organized. Remember, it part of the channel of organization. They want them to be organized into something that's going to make a difference. They want their opinions to be understood. This is also part of the understanding circuit. This is another name for the logical circuitry, you know. So they want their opinions to be understood and implemented. You know, what's the point if it's not going to get out into the collective? That's what they want. Ra says that there are two kinds of sixth line here, the ones who keep on exploring and having new opinions and new understandings, and then the other one who is decided on their opinion and they don't go any further. And this is the duality, again, just expressing itself. There's nothing wrong or right about either one. We need the full expression of it all. They both have their place, and they will each be a role model to those who are ready for them. He also says that a great sixth line is always a student. He says they are always learning something because their job is to validate the hexagram. Or not, of course, to discount the hexagram completely, or not. You're trashing your own hexagram. Yeah, well, I suppose there will be some six lines who are going to be doing that. Part of their process is to be able to say, this does not belong in the collective. It has no value. It's logic. Go back, start again, do it again. It's like the teacher with the homework, isn't it? Like, nope, bring it back, do it again. In order for them to have the room in their life to keep on studying and to keep on watching what's going on and absorbing the knowledge they need to be able to validate correctly, they need time. You know, they need time. And part of that is that they have to be spoiled in order to give them the time that they need. It's very interesting when you look at the mechanic of it all. And then you move into the 18.6 and we have Buddhahood. And the lifetime learning is the perfected form. You know, Ra says these are people who, they assume that everything is correct, whether it is or not. They look out from the top of their hexagram and they're in their Buddha mode and they see perfection. There's an innocence in the sixth line, in all six lines, really. But in their innocence here, they don't see anything that needs correcting. You know, everything is as it is. It's fine. Doesn't need anything else. This is the exaltation of it, of course. The detriment, well, they want to tell you why everything is okay. So they are still seeing that everything is perfect, but now they want to tell you why. Correction. Getting to a place where no more correction is necessary. This is that ultimate job of the Buddhahood in this sixth line here. It's another line that needs to be spoiled. Their perfected form needs that. Ra said these are often somebody who will have a mature person in their life to look after them. You know, maybe as a lover or as a mentor with benefits. But they're here to be spoiled and they like having people in their life who will spoil them. And they actually attract people to them who want to spoil them. They will just bring them a bunch of flowers, box of chocolates, bottle of wine, whatever happens to be. Take them out for dinner, run them a nice bath. Spoiling, taking care of, giving them time to work through their process in order that the collective can be served. And we know six lines are not going to do anything if it doesn't benefit them. They don't see a reason to. You know, they've been through their process. They've had all their hard knocks. They've worked it out. They've sat there and go, yeah, okay, fine. But they will do something if they're called to do it. They will. It's just there has to be something in it for them. And of course, this is a generalization. These are keynotes for the sixth line. Not every sixth line you're going to meet will operate this way, but it's a general rule. They will. So the sixth line here is not going to challenge authority. They're not going to correct anything if they don't have the commitment of the collective. And part of that commitment of the collective is to support them in their Buddhahood, to fill their rice bowl, and so they don't have to go out and look for food. This is a projector channel, and it's the same with the 17/6 as well. They're both in projector channels. They both need to be invited somehow into that spoiling. Let me spoil you. Would you let me spoil you? And if this line, either of these lines, if they don't get spoiled, they can become very bitter, which is, of course, the projector signpost for being out of alignment. We also have Mercury moving into gate 3 tomorrow at 4:49 tomorrow morning. And it's there for 7 days, and then it goes retrograde for a week. So consider yourself warned. We have a Mercury retrograde coming up. So make sure you save everything on your computers and you back up your phone and you get all your communications in order. Gate 3 is called difficulty at the beginning, and it brings us the channel of mutation because gate 60 at the other end of the channel is in Pluto at the moment. So maybe people around you will start talking about change, how much they like change, or how they want things to stay the same, that kind of thing. You could listen out. Maybe you'll just start saying something like that, and then you'll know where it's come from. So the moon is leaving the splenic center now. I know it's been through all of those splenic gates, and it's transiting into gate 1 at 11:17. This is the creative, the gate of self-expression. And it's in the G center, and there can be a real drive to express oneself in a unique and creative way. It's individuality, and it can be a powerful gate in that way. It can empower other people to also then express themselves, because it's uncompromisingly doing so, doing its own thing. And then the 43 at 22:43, we have gate 43 in the moon. And this will bring us the channel with Uranus in gate 23. We didn't used to call it Uranus when I was young, but anyway, we do now. Maybe it's a good thing. So this is the channel of structuring, individual organization, and this is a unique perception here that is the result of sudden insights. And it's the projected channel that really benefits from waiting to be invited to speak, because this is also known as the genius freak channel. And it can be very distressing when you're saying your unique insight and you're sharing it out there with the world to empower others. Not that you're doing any of that consciously, but this is the mechanic of it. And then you're called out for being freak or so waiting to be invited to share can sometimes ameliorate that. So as we reach the end of these two hexagrams, the sun in 17, the earth in 18, maybe you can, if you would like to, I invite you to reflect on the qualities that we've examined. Maybe you could look at your own opinions, or maybe where you have a tendency to correct things. Or maybe you've noticed that you tend to correct people rather than things, and you've realized, oh, okay, this is something they could look at. Have you noticed any other little things popping up in your awareness this week as you start to look at the transits in this way and you take this journey with me? You can leave messages in the comments if you would like to. Message in a bottle, throw it in the sea. Who knows when it will rock up on my shore. Okay, I think I should stop there. We move into gate 21 next, the gate that is often called gate of control. And we'll explore that together. I look forward to it, and I hope you'll join me then. Bye-bye.